about that chat. All right. Good morning. I think I'm actually set up pretty quickly today. Discord chat going. All right. Well, it's bright. I need to make a dark mode version of this. Just like blam. Is this better? Probably. Is that better? Maybe? It's not as bright to me, which I appreciate. Good morning. Yeah, I have no idea. Is it too loud? It's probably too loud. Let me turn it down a little bit. Maybe there. How's it going, Avilio? Oh man, I am not awake. And I've been up since, 3:50 in the morning. Cool. Good. Right. We got a couple more minutes here before we get started. How you doing this morning? Well, I guess it could be evening depending on where you're from. I know Saul is from the down under. I'm not sure he's joining today though. It's still late for him. It's got to be what, 10 o'clock at night? I think it's 13-hour difference. Or would that make it 8 o'clock? I don't know. He's 13 ahead. Yeah. Midwest? Central or Eastern? Because I'll never forget we relocated to the Midwest, and the headhunter at the time, this was for my wife's job, was like, oh yeah, it's in the Northeast. And we're like, oh cool. Which northeastern state is it? And he goes, oh, it's in Ohio. And I'm like, what? Ohio is not the Northeast. I mean, if you split into quadrants, yeah, it's technically in the Northeast quadrant, but nobody calls anything west of Pennsylvania. In fact, even west or eastern Pennsylvania isn't considered East Coast, in my opinion. Once you get past Scranton, basically, you're like, it's the Midwest. Illinois. All right, so you're in Central. Yeah, that makes sense. So, you're up early then. Yeah, for sure it's Midwest. We were outside of Cleveland for a while there, which was all right. Cheap housing, I'll tell you that much. Cheapest place I've ever lived in my life. And the only problem with Ohio is how gray it is all the time. Ugh. In fact, when we moved, one of the things I looked up, I didn't even know you could look this up, is how many days of sunlight on average you can get by state. Yeah, 2 years? All right, that's cool. Illinois is not bad either. It's very flat there, depending on where you are. I used to drive from Midway to Peoria to go visit Caterpillar, and that was a flat drive. I thought parts of Ohio were flat, and then I drove through Illinois, and I'm like, oh, this is flat. For whatever reason, you can't even, there's not even a curve to the earth in that. It's just like a flat spot, like somebody tamped it down. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, Michigan's nice. We just went to Michigan for the first time ever for, was Was it spring break? No, it was in the summer break. We went to the Great Lakes, and that was a wild trip. I never knew what the Great Lakes were like, and it was not what I expected. It's not a lake, it's basically an ocean. You can't see the end. And also it has waves, which kind of blew me away. Like they had to shut down the pier because it was washing over the pier. It's originally a giant swamp. Huh. Oh, so they basically did like giant detention ponds. That's funny. Yeah, that's actually common where I'm at, but it is. Yeah, I could just see it being flooded all the time. It seems crazy. Yeah. Oh, did it go live? Oh, it went live automatically. That's cool. I didn't even set it to live. Nice. All right, well, I guess that means it's 9 o'clock. We're actually live. And we're going to get started. Let me know if the music gets too, like, annoying. Or if it ends up being louder than expected later. Because I have it on in the background. Hopefully it's not coming in over the mic. I don't think it is. Yeah, it's fine for me. So yeah, it was a good week. I actually, you know what? There's one thing I gotta change. These are numbers I enter in, so we will change this to be like, oh god, that's terrible on my eyes. Okay, we're not gonna do that. We'll do, there we go. Is that better? Yeah, that's good enough anyway. And this is the other thing that I affect manually. And then this is the wrong color. What did I do? What did I do? I can't change those colors apparently. Okay, cool. What's on auto? Hey Jeff, welcome. Good to have you in. We're just getting started. Apologies if I'm low energy, even with coffee. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Been up since 3:50, and I went to bed early too. It must have been that allergy pill I took. But whatever, we're in good shape. Let me change this color. There we go. Hopefully you can't hear my dog barking in the background. Yeah, good week. What's the summary here? So basically, the summary is, oh, that's an auto color. I can't change that too. Basically, NLV down slightly, up in this account, down in this, down slightly in this, down in this. These are because of Reddit. And I have Reddit, or even worse, I have RDTL in the main one, but just everything outpaced it. So despite that drop of like 30%, I'm still up. That's how good of a week it was across the rest of the market. And yeah, that's how it is. Music too loud. Okay, I thought it might be. Let me know if that's better. It's very chill music though. You do like the music? Hey, nail in my eye. Good to see you too. So yeah, NOV down a little bit. Thanks primarily to Reddit, and then everything else up. But maybe more importantly than that, it was a really good week for premiums. Now there's a couple of swing trades in here. So I guess without swing trades, it would be like 18K maybe. But it was, overall, I was very happy with this week, considering I only had one CSP going into the week, and I think it was Bull, which was a good CSP to have because it paid like $3,000. So that was all good. But yeah, I guess we could just jump right into it. So there's a lot of trades. There was, or at least a lot of transaction lines. Wasn't that many trades. This is one big trade. And then these are 3 individual trades, basically, as shares got called away. So it shouldn't be as daunting as it looks at first glance. But we'll start with the swing trades because I had 2 of them right away. One was Con-L, and that's the Coin2X for those of you who are in the know. And it was surprising because, you know, had I just waited from the 36 that I swung trade 35 to 36. I could have sold it for another like 17K apparently. Jeez. I don't know who saw that one coming. It you look at trades like that and it's so easy to be like, oh, look what I missed. But I went into that trade with a very specific plan, and I'm always happy that the plan just works the way that I hoped it would. And this was a Monday trade, so it was here where basically I got in at or did I buy it last week? Maybe I bought it at 34.5 and just sold it at 35.5, something like that. And I was like, yeah, that was the goal. That was the goal of the trade. I wasn't trying to be a holder of this from an investment standpoint, but like, oh yeah, there's definitely a little cuppage happening here, and it would have been nice to be on that run up, but I mean, I would have sold it by the time we were here anyway. There's no way I would have continued to wait. So I don't know. You can't beat yourself up over that. I mean, you could. It seems pointless though when I had a specific goal to begin with. So it is what it is. Hey, Showcase is in the house. Are you feeling better, Mr. Showcase? I hope so. All right, what was the next trade? There's not a lot to talk about on a swing trade like that. Then was ADBG, Adobe, and this was kind of heavy. I bought more shares than I realized, but I sold at 69,000. Ha 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 ha. Drippy. All right, well, that's better than it sounded yesterday. So this was, $4,500 swing trade that I was very happy with. I had another swing trade, LilyX. So I'll put all those together actually. And LilyX is also another $69,000 trade. So across all the swing trades, that was 11,500 of my profit this week. And I genuinely kind of enjoy swing trades. I think there's a little bit of an art to it at times, but also quite a bit of luck. And it worked out well. Why can't I find trading? There it is. So EDBG was I bought it at 10. What did I buy it at? Do I have that on the spreadsheet? I must. Yeah, 1075, and then sold it at 1150. Not even like was it 1150? Yeah, not even $1 difference. And maybe it was somewhere over here in the same day. I think it was in the same day. I got it at like the bottom and then just boom, out. Or did I get it on Thursday? Maybe I bought it last week. I don't know. Whatever. Very happy with that swing trade. That went well. And got out with way more than I deserved. In fact, about 4.5 MacBook Airs from that trade, as I like to show. Oh, by the way, here it is. You can't see it because of the stupid. There we go. It's real. I did get it. I said I would get it, and I did get it. And now it's what I read Discord on. So, we got people asking, how do they join? Hopefully, I'd rather be fishing was able to join. Hey, Kodu, good morning to you as well. Thanks for tuning in. 6,000 shares of ADBG, the 2X. It's only $10. It was very cheap. All of these, that's part of why I like the 2Xers, is like the position sizing is so much more granular, and not that I should be signaling these, but anyone can follow these because anyone has $10. If you're in Theta Daddies, obviously you've got at least $10 to trade. I told him how got us to help him now. Yeah, hopefully I see that. Hopefully he can figure out the last step there of clicking the link that is 4 messages above his. And then LilyX was another trade that like went well and could have been so much more, but I have zero regrets on this one. In fact, this is ridiculous because where's the Lily line too? The same thing on my. I cannot believe this line held up after all. I never deleted it. I don't know because I stopped looking at it honestly. But we drew this line. I drew this line early on of like where I thought we were going to end up, and it finished at the end of the line. That blows my mind. I haven't touched this line since it was originally drawn. And sometimes you're like, wow, what if I just followed my own plan? It would have been great. Now, the plan was to get out here, and obviously we took the meandering path around that point because, God forbid, we touched the point on time. And then we went above it with the news of whatever that affected all of these companies, Merck included. Merck did the same thing. I had leaps I sold here, I think. Or no, I waited on the Merck leaps. I sold them here. Which is that maybe that's my only regret was I stared at the Merck chart. And this is relevant because Merck and Lilly moved off the same news. And so when I looked at Merck, I zoomed way out, like to the weekly. And I was like, okay, every time we have a green spike, it was almost always multiple green bars. Almost always. And this is just like random thoughts, right? So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I hold, and it was a leap, so maybe I hold on to this for more than what my normal capacity for holding trades in the profit is, because I'm like, oh, big green bar, need to sell. And I actually had the self-restraint to wait and ended up selling it here, which was amazing. That was beyond good in terms of self-restraint. But what I didn't connect the dots on at the time, but I did after, of course, after it was too late, was I should have had the same approach with Lilly. There was no reason when both were going off the same news to not think of it in the same way of like, okay, we're going to have a couple of days of this. Now, who knows? Anything can happen, right? Of course. But yeah, and again, I'm not sure I would have sold it here, but I probably would have sold it when Lilly X was at 15 instead of the 14.20 that I did. That said, I do have something on the spreadsheet where now I can look at my profit. And Lilly X on 5,000 shares in total, I've made 26K, which my original target for the Lilly X trade in the same time period was 25,000 because I bought the shares at $10. 5,000 shares at $10. So 50K total, right? That was basically the cost basis. And then I wanted to make 1.5%, which is $25,000. So I did hit my target. I did it across 2 trades, and could have been more. But this is where this is a spot where I feel like for the most part I achieved the plan exactly, and I'm out. Because when Lilly is in the range that it's currently in, I get out. I know it can go to 9. Oh, where's Lilly? I'm on Lilly X here. I know it can go to the 900 range here, right? And that might be where we're headed. And in fact, it seems pretty likely, to be honest. But yeah, this is where I get out because now we're in the median. And I generally only like playing Lilly because of how expensive it is down here in the 720 range, which is why I rebought in it on Lilly X to begin with. Because we dropped back to this fib, and this is basically where I got back in before jumping out here. So overall, fantastic trades. Should be doing leverage shares. Who was the one in Discord with the list of all? It was me. It was me. Here, I'm going to share that right now for your showcase. Where's Discord? Yeah, there we go. I'm putting it in my channel. If I can find where. There's too many channels. People are like, you need to add channels. I'm like, there's too many channels. That's the 2x list that I go off of right now. It rotates a little bit. I don't play all of them. I like to have them all open because when I see mega drops like HIMZ right now, I'm starting to think about it. I might swing trade that. We'll get to that one though, because I just got to sign those shares. So yeah, check that out if you want to dabble with swing trading those, because there's no limit to how much capital you can throw in those. It's a little bit different than worrying about fills. There is still bid asks on 2x's, but it's different than the options, of course. Hey, good morning, E-Rex. Glad to have you. Paul had a list as well. Member plays. Ah, yeah, sorry. I shared my own personal list at one point. There's others too. Yeah, NBiz has one, and I haven't touched it. Um, I should touch NBiz more because I did touch it and I didn't get burned. I just didn't. Again, there's so many stocks that ran away this week, and it's fine. Okay, so yeah, a couple of my favorite thing about this is I sold two bunches of shares at $69,000. That may be my pride and joy for the week. I like, who cares? But like, it's fun when you can have fun with the stupid stuff that you do of numbers and selling stocks and shares. All right, next up, that's it for the swing trades. We can talk about it more if anyone has questions on that. But very happy with how those worked out. 11.5 on that was great. And then into CoreWeave. CoreWeave, I sold 120p at the end of last week for very good return. 535, right? On a 120 position is 4.5% almost. So that was a thing of beauty. Bought it back for 95% profit. Now, I never redeployed this money. So, like, arguably, I shouldn't have done this. I should have just left it as is. But I was thinking that CoreWeave might drop back down and give me an opportunity to get back in this specific one. And I got distracted and made a bunch of money on the swing trades where I stopped thinking about it. So, whatever. But yeah, that was a real easy trade because CoreWeave dropped last week into the toilet randomly on no news from what I could tell. Maybe you guys saw news that I didn't see. And when I go to CoreWeave, maybe I need to fix this. Sometimes the handle is not cleanly attached, by the way. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably not a cup and handle. maybe I shouldn't try to force it. Stop trying to make that a thing. Is that the saying? But we dropped on Friday dramatically for, again, no good reason other than, just reverting to the mean. We didn't just test like the recent moving averages. We tested the 100 SMA. Like, okay, I guess that's something that needed to happen. I don't know. And then we gapped up, and now we got a big gap that at some point we're going to fill probably. But then we spiked. Okay, so before I talk about the spike, I sold on Monday here when we were up in this range 135 C's for 1%. It was a buck, I think literally like a $1.40 or something. Where is it? Here. Yeah, okay, $1.40. So like slightly better than 1%. Okay, on 500 shares. And then it was like, okay, that sucks because we immediately spiked to 140. And I was like, well, come on, man. What the hell? Now, I didn't try to do anything with the shares. I'm like, they're gone. Only for us to close at 134.79. So the shares didn't even get called away. And now I'm going to sell at the money, probably. Maybe I'll sell 140s here for next week. But here's what I want to point out was who remembers the absolute panic in the Discord? What's going on, Alec? Yeah, you're not late. You're good. I'm only like 20 minutes in here. There was panic at the disco, and everyone goes, what are you going to do about CoreWeave? As if I'm going to like either sell everything and just lose $7,500 or like make the stock go up, which I guess I did because I covered them. You're welcome. I covered them. I made the shares go up for everybody else. And the fact was, the conversation was literally, I don't know, CoreWeave could be $140 tomorrow. Literally the words that came out of my fingers. And it hit 140 tomorrow. So, like, I don't know. I laugh about this type of stuff where people panic on volatile stocks that had no good reason to move at all. And yet they do, right? And it's the golden rules are a thing for a reason. Like, they are real. They're very much trading psychology of like, you need to numb yourself to green and red bar movement. That's kind of all there is to it, right? Where like at the end of the day, does it matter what happened any individual day? The answer is generally no. It matters where the trend's going. And we're still, by the way, if I delete this stupid cup and handle, that's not really a thing. That's kind of a thing, but not really a thing. Like the recent trend is good. Higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high. Yeah, okay, maybe we'll hit a low over here. But otherwise, like, there's a clear trend going in this direction from this point. So, and maybe it's like this, right? Whatever. So, like, we're good. There's no concern here from my standpoint of intraday movement. So whenever the stock does something that is not what you want it to do, which is generally go up, take a deep breath, zoom out. Be like, oh, okay, we can go way higher before we're even in like crazy oversold territory. Can't zoom out too far, obviously, with CoreWeave. We don't even have a 200 SMA yet, but you get it. So like, it's fine. It's literally fine. Calm down. And I'm glad that people got to see that on this particular trade. I do find it funny that I ended up not getting assigned the shares after all. And I'm actually happy about that because these are great premiums. The only thing I wish could have happened differently was maybe I had an opportunity to buy these back. I don't think I did for deep profit. I think even then it was only like 50% or whatever. So I let it run out because I would have loved to have resold it for next week already if I could. All right, bullish on. I can predict the movements. No, I can't predict anything, dude. One does not simply play CoreWeave. CoreWeave plays you. CoreWeave plays all of us. I'm also bullish on CoreWeave long term, as I just said. Yeah, bouncing off the 8 EMA for sure. What is your thought? What is the thought about the 165 for the acquisition of Cores? I'm not sure what that implies, Showcase. Let me know when you get a second. Type that out if your fingers are still working. But yeah, CoreWeave's been good, and there'll be more opportunities to play CoreWeave X. Like literally, the next time we drop to here, 16, I'll probably jump back in. In fact, why don't we do that right now? Why don't we set a? How do I do a alert? There we go. We're gonna set an alert together. CoreWeave X price. If the price hits 16, we gon' buy. Done. All right. And if you didn't know, there's this little alert sec. Oh, you can't see it on my screen. It's on the top right. There's a little time alarm clock looking thing that lists out your different alerts. So that's gonna happen. If we bounce back to here, I will definitely do a swing trade there. Of course, there's a 2x in core. Dude, there's a 2x in everything. Okay, let me see if I can do this. There you go. You can see my 2x list here. ADBG, Archer's 2x, ARC-X, which I was worried at first was like the ARC Fund 2x, which would be funny. Bull has one, and it's generally about the same price as Bull, which I find comical. Coin, CoreWeave, Hims, Lily, Marvel, which, oh man, this would have been a good one. All right, let's click on this chart. Oh God, 13 to 25. Oh, missed opportunity. Of course, our Bay, RDTL, which right now is kind of painful for me because I bought it up here at 69 or something here. So I've got a heavy CB. If we drop and test the 200 MA or 100 MA, I guess in this chart, or close the gap to 27, I am like dropping 100K in there for sure. Robin, oh, here's the fun thing about Robin. I owned this at $10 at one point, and now it's 115. TSLL, of course, TSLL is more volatile than CoreWeave on average. CoreWeave X, I should say. Then we've got the TTD 2X, which, by the way, this is interesting. TTD, conspiracy theory time. When we hit this extra low here, TTD opened to 2x. Coincidence? I don't know. Look what we've been doing ever since. So I have I have leaps on TTD as well. Only 5 of them for 55 or 50C. And my thought was, well, I'm going to hold them until, let's see, let's close this gap up to here. Bring it so it's equal, as my OCD is going to go nuts. So, like, yeah, the idea is I think we're going to fill this gap. Probably not till next earnings, but it's a leap. So, like, I have multiple earning cycles for this to resolve. And again, here is where we have the conspiracy theory. Where can I get like a regular arrow? I don't want a God arrow. I just want a regular arrow. Hey, what happened? I want to draw a bigger arrow than that. Can I not draw a bigger arrow than that? Oh, no. 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 Okay, then I guess I got to do a God arrow. Okay, fine. The idea was right there. This is where the 2x came to be. And I think there's going to be some market manip going on here until we get to this top yellow line. Now, I don't think it's going to necessarily go to fill this gap too, which we've got 2 big-ass gaps, I guess, which are apparently about the same size, I'm noticing now. That's kind of interesting. So I guess we partially filled that gap, but there's a potential that it goes back to the 100s here in the not too distant future, considering what all is happening here. And this is not like really official TA type stuff. This is just something I've noticed, and so I'm playing the conspiracy theory angle. And I think there's a chance that this is a huge play for me. Again, I only have 5 contracts, and in fact, I thought about doubling down here. I actually bought them here, back here actually, at 50. Kind of wish I doubled down here. I did not. Wouldn't have been. It was only like a 20% drop in value at that time, and again, with them being leaps, I'm like, whatever, who cares? So we'll see what happens, but this will be interesting to keep an eye on, I think, because again, if we just draw like some angles here, that's not that far away. You know, next earnings, after next earnings, mid-December maybe, we hit this, we'll leave these lines here together for next time, and maybe this is a thing. Maybe this is a thing. Also, this line here coincided exactly. They touched tips here when you connect them to a previous low, and all the way back here about the same as well. So I felt very confident here. When I'm this zoomed in this way, this angle looks way too steep, but I'm still going to leave it. All right. Let me catch up on chat here for a second. Do I expect the same institutional buy-sell movement to continue into this week? Oh, that's probably more of a AA question, but yeah, I don't see why not. I think they'll continue to rotate into things. All right, Showcase. It was when the deal was put together. They've been trying to buy cores for over a year. It was based on valuation. They don't want CoreWeave stock to dump, and then they're paying more. Okay, yeah, that's fair. So, yeah, there's incentive, but I don't know how in control or whose control that's in. I'm not sure. I don't know who can manipulate that. Is the 2x TTDU? Yes, sorry. Could have responded to that way quicker. TTD is Trade Desk, right? I think Muffin Man actually has a lot. Oh, he's already answering that question. It's a good company, I think. You hate YouTube emotes? Well, you know, I wonder if there's a way to tie Discord chat into YouTube chat. There is a way to do that. No, it's not. I can display it all on my screen probably, but it's a little bit different. Yeah, I didn't think you had TTD, but I know you were a fan of it when we talked about it way back when. Or maybe you're not a fan of it, knowledgeable about it. So, yeah, you get it. All right, we're going to shrink all this so you can see a little bit more of my window rather than me changing my screens all over. How's that? Can see everything? Yeah, perfect. All right, cool. Next up, let's talk about next. next, not the company next, like just the next stock that I have to talk about. Reddit. Oh, Reddit. So this is a fun one. This is one of those situations where I got into in my taxable account where my shares were up 60K at one point, 500%. And I didn't want to take the tax hit because they would have been assigned here, and then they would have been assigned here, and then I rolled here, but they wouldn't have been assigned. And maybe I should have waited a little bit longer on that one, but I kept getting net credits. I'm like, whatever. So what I ended up doing was when we had this mega drop, I was like, oh, now's our chance. I can get out scot-free for $700, which was actually pretty good on the position size. It's only 300 shares. So I was happy with that. And now they're uncovered, and I don't have to worry about waiting until, these were not October 1st. They were November 17th. No, they were further out than that, I think. Maybe it was December for those. And the idea was, like, I might roll one more time just to next year to not have to pay the taxable gains on it, or the taxable event on the capital gains, because I took some money out of my other taxable account that I don't wheel with, and I was like, I just don't want to pay that much taxes, so I'll just keep rolling forever. And then this is what can happen where you can get an out and do it in profit. Now, I would have preferred, honestly, that it didn't happen, but because of the NLV drop, but it didn't matter because I'm not selling this stuff anytime soon. It just hurts to look at in the short term when you're like, oh man, my shares that were at 285 are now at 200. But again, it's Reddit. I am long term. Everybody knows this about me anyway. Super bullish. So, so this gave me a buyback opportunity. I took it. I took the out. I took the profit. And then I'll probably wait a little bit because I'm expecting maybe some big bars here of return back to probably the 230 range. I don't know if we'll go back to 265 immediately, but I would imagine we'll get probably back into the fib up here, maybe even to the 240s before earnings. And then I would imagine we'll sideways trade until earnings and then either pop up or down again based on whatever Pez says, because he's a shit-faced whatever. We'll see how that goes. All right, in the next stock that we have to look at, I was just catching up on chat again. There's not much else to talk about the Reddit roll, but I thought that was a good... I was happy with how this worked out in the grand scheme of things. I had GME also in taxable, decided to uncover, took a little bit of profit, but it wasn't a huge dollar value anyway. It's only 300 shares. I mean, 300 shares, the GME is only like $7,500, right? So whatever. And there's some stuff happening there. There's been a lot of movement on GME recently. And I'm not like, I don't play it in a meme way anymore. We had a big drop yesterday after a nice run up. And this is related to this warrant exercising. It is interesting that we tested the 34 EMA pretty spot on, and that bottom fib. So I don't know. There's a high likelihood that we are in this range or trend down until October, whatever day the warrants expire. I forget what day the warrants expire. So we've got to see how that shakes out. But then I do think we're going to end up back ultimately in this $30 range, something like that. That tends to be where it likes to stay. This big flat line was just from announcing they bought like $5 billion of Bitcoin, which, by the way, means they're worth a ton more this week as well, with how much they bought. So like this is a reaction to the warrant exercising stuff that's going to go on. And I think it'll be short term. So just decided to get out, assuming there'll be some sort of bounce back, and then I'll resell CCs there. After GME, we've got ONS. This is the one that Muffin Man shamed me out of. Thank you for that. I sold $8 puts for 35 cents, and I think later that day, Muffin Man went on a rant about how they've gone up too much, and then Bob Dog was saying the same thing, and I was like, oh no, listen to the echo chamber. Oh, I should exit here, and then it was like, no, we're going to 10. But I do think that as much as I give him a hard time on it, I was glad to get out here because it did cause the emotional reaction of me saying like, oh, I don't want to be in on at $10, and we're on such a run up that at some point, what happens if we test back to $3? Like nothing here is sustained, in my opinion. This is on 10 years from now growth with the market cap that it's got of 3 billion when their revenue is what? What was their revenue? Did we talked about this, didn't we? You're probably already writing it in there. No, this is performance. I don't want performance. Where is it? Oh, I got to go to the financials, don't I? More financials. Oh, it was right here. Damn it. Net income was last reported at $6 million. So wasn't it $10? Do you mean how much they made? So yeah, I mean the revenue for the last year is 10 million, sorry. Yeah, this year to date is 10 million. So maybe it's going to be 20 million for the year. And I don't know how many companies have, like, what is we're just going to do 3,000 divided by 20. 150x. You're right. I don't want to be in 150. Like, that's Palantir levels of I can't handle that, basically. So, what happens if I click out of this? This is when I close the whole thing, don't I? Oh, there we go. Okay, we're good. $10. Actually, $10. Well, it happened to be 10 million, so you're pretty close. Well, Palantir is similar, though, right? Like 190x. Maybe not anymore, but it was for a bit there. Net revenue. Oh, okay, they're making 360 million or three. Let's go to the. Well, you can see this when I bring it up here. Can I zoom in if I like? No, it doesn't have that function. Okay, whatever. So yeah, total revenue Q2 was $1 billion. Okay, so like at least they're making money now. Of course, the market cap is 400 billion. So like, I don't know if it's a. So 400 divided by what? 3, maybe 3 billion ish. So ONS is got a higher multiple than Palantir. Can I just reiterate that ONS is a drone manufacturing company? And oh, by the way, apparently, as I was reading about them recently, they don't even make all their own stuff. Like, I know Bob very much hates on ARCAT and how they have their headquarters in Puerto Rico, which I don't actually know why that's bad. Oh, by the way, they did do a cup and handle that I drew. I totally forgot about. Oh, that was not bad. That was pretty close. The arrow, by the way, touched the arrow pretty much. I call that a win, just so you know. ARCAT builds their own shit, okay? So, like, sorry for the... I forgot, this is a family show. Apologies. They build their own stuff, their own electronics. They have factories that tool and retool based on what it is they have demand for. And so, like, this is going to be heresy, I know, like ARCAT better than ONS. And now I'm thinking, I will wait for the next inevitable pullback, because look at the size of the bars on this bad boy. They're spitting bars like they're a freestyle rapper. Some are good, some are bad. They're all over the place. And this is a big bar. I mean, like, come on. When you span 3 entire fibs, top to bottom with a single bar, you're spitting fire. So the thing here, though, is, again, they have control. They have of their full supply chain here. It's under their roof. Now, obviously, components, blah, blah, whatever. But for that reason, as a guy who comes from manufacturing, I do like that a little bit better. That's also why I like Lilly over a lot of other drug companies, because they are a manufacturer. It's not wild for a small cap player going viral. Yeah, that's fair, but because they're going viral, at some point I think they will go unviral. They're gonna get somebody's gonna make a vaccine for that viral disease they've got. Their system network is the meat. I guess. Dude, somebody is vacuuming above me. I'm so sorry if you can hear that. That's obnoxious. If I had a broom, I would hit the ceiling and say stop. Um, you don't own any of them after this past week. On's Dirt Turtle, I guess. So no, it is no, it's my daughter, I think. Who's just like slamming it into the molding upstairs. It's not good. But anyway, all right. That's enough on drone companies. Although, no, it's not, because I got Archer to talk about too. So Archer wasn't a this week play. Another cup, by the way. Sometimes I just need to have patience. It was even like laid out. I laid this crap out there for myself a week ago. We hit it earlier than expected, but here we are. I covered when we were at like 950 for 11. And now I get to watch this until November 17th. Ugh. Hopefully I am one of the lucky 2% that gets called away early. I don't know if that's going to happen, but the frustrating thing is, by the time we get to November 17th here, we're probably going to be back down here. Just like this is what they do. No, I don't want Elliott Wave, although that's cool. I didn't even realize that was there. I want to draw curve. Yeah, it's going to be like boom, boom. Wait a second. What did I do? How come? There we go. It's going to be like this. That's what it's going to do. We'll leave that. We'll leave that for next week to see if this a random ass prediction that I put zero effort into happens. Oh, it goes further. It goes further. Oh, it's going to happen at earnings, though. It's going to drop. So it's going to be like a much tight. Oh, it's going to go backwards. It's actually going to go backwards. No, it won't go backwards. It is going to be a sharp drop, though. I would say I would bet money on it, which I could, but I'm not going to in this case because I already have money tied up into it. Hey, Kate, good to see you. Don't stop Yeah, I agree. If the kid is doing something, they were going to continue to do it. Otherwise, they'll never do it again. You're out of the drone world? Oh, no. Joby. I do have a Joby trade, too. Well, we could talk about that. Also, Cup. Oh, dude, what the hell, man? I must have drew this one more recently. There's no way I had this that perfect. Like, I know I'm good at my cups, but, like, this had to be this must have been like, probably like a Wednesday drawing. I never drew the God Arrow, though. And I covered this somewhere over here on Monday. No, here. Yeah, somewhere over here. We started hot. Well, it's a red bar, so you can tell. And we dropped way low. And when we came back up, I sold 16.5, which is at the money for me on this particular one. And we'll go back to NVIZ and the others, Rocket Lab, in a few minutes here. We're on drones. So I sold it at 44 cents, which is 2.66% on the money for at the money, 2,000 shares, and it went. So, in hindsight, should I have sold it at 17? I don't know, maybe. I thought about it, and the premium dropped so quickly at 17. I'm like, I wasn't sold that we were going to pop here. Actually, the cup might maybe even expand this cup potentially. No, I don't know. No, maybe not. But regardless, could we end up back at 20s? Yeah, but it seemed more likely, excuse me, now I'm hiccuping, that we were going to trade in this range a little bit longer. Oh, there's some left. Hold on. Okay, I should be good now. That I didn't think we were going to end up back in the 18s as we did. I thought for sure it was more likely we're going to, maybe we were going to hit 1675. That's up here and tested the fib. Maybe 1720, whatever the top fib is. But to blow through it like that was a little surprising. And we tested the fib perfectly here, right? So like, I don't know. I don't know. It was definitely a potential, and I did not plan for it. But my goal is 1%, better than 1% on my trades. Ideally 2%. So when I got 2.66 on something that was not looking so great on that particular day, I can't even complain about it. I'm fine with it. So I think that's it for the EV tolls. Yeah, we got that. Oh, Rocket Lab. I guess I could talk Rocket Lab. Rocket Lab seems to be in the same bucket from sector movement, right? Like I think we tend to have a lot of similarities between Rocket Lab and Archer and Joby, all these companies. So, you know, Rocket Lab, where are you? There we are. We are, no, so, oh, Kate, I just saw your message. That wasn't Hood, that was TradingView, which is what we're looking at up here. So yeah, it's just part of the watch list there. And I do love it too. I actually find myself using TradingView more and more and more, and all of the other apps less and less and less. It's just, it might be the best software on the market, period, in my opinion. So powerful. What was I going to talk about? Oh, Rocket Lab. Okay, so yeah, Rocket Lab was cool. We finished the week. I didn't get assigned shares. I had shares for a couple weeks. We cracked my 50cc line here, or that was down here, this fib exactly, and I didn't lose them, and I was like, okay, cool. So I waited till it was Monday or Tuesday. I sold them when we were at about 48. I sold 50s for 2%. And this was a good one because this is where, like, this is my ideal scenario, my dream when I have a bunch of shares assigned. So if you can sell both 2%, which 105 on 50 was slightly better than 2%, and you can get a buck or two a share for them getting called away, this entire trade ends up being, $3,000 or a 6% result. Like, that is, to me, in a week, 6%. APR, that's 300%, 318%. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's the goal. That's the dream scenario when you're wheeling. And the fact that we ended up at whatever, 56 or something, I don't think about this at all. Like, I lose zero sleep over this. This is like, yeah, you couldn't have called it. And also, by the way, it happened on Friday. Like, what are you gonna do? Could you wait all day to sell this? No, if anything, had I waited at all, I would have sold it on Wednesday at probably 50 for about the same price that I sold it on Monday for, because Theta would have eaten away at this, where it wouldn't have made any more sense to sell here when, nobody was planning on this ultimately. And we saw the same with ASTS too, by the way, even more pronounced maybe, where, oh, this is also funny because somebody in the Discord was asking about, like, oh, my shares are going to get called away, and my cost basis is like 45. I don't want them to go away, and so I drew this line. I'm like, dude, look, we had this run up before multiple times, and every time we have this run up, there's a retrace, and this last one went from 61 to 35. So no, don't buy your CCs back at a huge loss. Let them go, dude, and just wait. Will ASTS go up forever and ever and ever? Maybe, but also very clearly maybe not. So like, why take that gamble? And there's a high likelihood of retracement here at some point. To what? I don't know. Will we test back down to 35? Probably not. Now that the SMAs, the 100's even higher, there'd have to be some serious news, a rocket exploding type stuff that takes them out, which is possible. But yeah, you get the idea. All right, let me catch up. Justin jumped in and already out. Okay, good to see you, man. Sorry you had to go. Thanks for stopping by, even though you can't hear me saying that. What else we got? Aggleton, welcome. Good seeing you. Kodu, TradingView is great. Yeah, oh, dude, it's amazing. Yeah, we did sell them on Monday, right? That was because I wait. Yeah, you sold them right away, and I waited till after. I think I got a slightly better price than you. Just saying. I don't remember what you sold at. Um, yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. Cool. Next. Let's go to. So we hit GME. We hit Ons. Bull. Okay, Bull was a good one too. Man, everything was everything was good this week. Bull got spicy there for a minute. Touch 16. And I was like, are they finally getting called away? And somebody asked me this, like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to let them go. I want them to go. And the question was, and I don't mean this, my coffee is finally kicked in. So I don't mean this like I was pissed off by it. I'm just energetic finally. The question was, but are you bearish on Bull? And I was like, no. In fact, I think Bull is going to pop. And I don't know if anyone was looking at the IV for this week. Iluvatar, I think he called it out of, it was insane. So we dropped way low yesterday, and I was able to buy him back for 2 cents. 2 cents, which seemed crazy also, by the way. Often, like, you can't, I keep trying to scroll the screen by grabbing it from TradingView. Can't do that. But yeah, this 2 cent buyback for 120, I bought to close it so I could sell a really juicy CC for next week. So this was originally sold on a Friday, $16.55. I bought it back for 2 cents, so net 53 cents, let's call it, right? We can do that math in our heads, 55 minus 2. And I resold it for 64 cents, the same time frame, which means theta has expanded. And we could bring that up here and take a look at that. Theta has gone from, actually, you know what? It's better in TradingView. Let's look at it here. Theta. See this volatility curve? You can't see the right, but it goes back up. It goes back up from literally in a couple of days from October 31st, 120% to 142%. Now, here's the deal. I don't know what's driving that. But the fact is, I don't really care because I've had the shares for a while. My cost basis is probably down to like $5 at this point. So to get these shares at the same strike, and remember, volatility is a equal bell curve, right? You're in the middle. I'm going to draw this in paint. It's been a minute since I've drawn something in paint. It's, you know, when you draw the bell curve or the volatility curve, it's, oh wow, I messed that up, huh? Can I just do a single curve on here? You know what? It's actually better to draw this in TradingView. I can use TradingView as MS Paint. Genius. So so if we just draw a line and then curve it out from the start. Okay, we'll go down fine first. That's fine. And then we do the same thing on the top side. Something like this. Right? This is what the volatility looks like. As time progresses, you have this expansion in both directions, meaning if this is, if this is the current stock price of $22.90, volatility says that there is an equal probability. Uh-oh. My daughter's calling me from landing. Hold on 1 second. Hello? All right, I will be right back. Can I do text here? I gotta sort something out for my daughter who is on her trip, and hopefully, yeah, that'll work. All right, be right back. Sorry about that. Crisis averted. We're good. Oh, what do I got to catch up on? What's Alec talking about? Everyone's saying go Alec. Oh, you singing? Awesome. All right. Let me get my head reoriented. So we were talking about volatility. There's the BRB. We're back. So because things spread out over time, like bull might be at this dollar value, and you can't necessarily say what's going to happen to the plus or minus. You don't know. That's the coin flip, right? You just know that the implied volatility says this is as likely to happen as this, and it widens the higher the volatility is. So in this case, when it's a stock that you want to own, this is great. Even if it drops down here, because you're going to own it anyway, cash in on that and get your max profit by selling that high IVCC. And in the case of bull, where I'm covered currently at 16, that this is a huge dollar trade. There we go. For, it's 64 cents per contract, and these are not expensive contracts, right? So like 100 shares of bull is what? $1,600? Something like that? No. 160? No, 60. I guess it is 1,600. So if you do 64 divided by my cost basis, which is like 14.25, it's a 4.5% trade. Now I did it off the 16 just to make the math simple, because that's what I'm hoping it sells for. But that plus, or is it maybe it's 475. I've got a $1.25 share appreciation written down. I think it's I have it down here. Oh, it is 1475. Okay, well, whatever. You get the idea. But another $1.25 times 6,000 plus the 3,780. Like, that is a big trade divided by the money that's tied up, which is 88,500. That's almost 13% in a week. So again, this is like dream scenario if it gets called away. Might it go to 20? Yeah, but that's not like the game. That's not my strategy. That's not most of our strategies as we're wheeling, right? And I'm very happy with any double-digit return in a single week. As soon as you go double digits, that means you have a 500% plus return. That's just how it works. It's math. I'm telling you, it's math. And that's non-compounded. I think I just spit on my mic. Okay, so we already talked about that CoreWeave play. Talked about Rocket Lab. NBiz. Showcase is just here for NBiz anyway, right? Then he's leaving, so maybe I should hit this one while he's still awake. NBiz is a new favorite stock of mine. I mean, I got it assigned at 110. And again, people were kind of hesitant on this. They're like, yeah, but it's at 107. What are you going to do? And I'm like, 107. Where was it? Where was Friday? Here. We closed at what? 107 something, right? 55, something like that. The 110 already, which was my cost basis, because that's what I got assigned at, was at that point for this Friday, was already paying more than 2%. So on Monday at open, when we hit like 111 or whatever it was, I sold this one pretty early on. I was like, yeah, it could be a rug pull week. It could be another Monday start into a drop throughout the rest of the week, which we had a lot of those. Even for NBiz, had a few of those. So like, yeah, let's lock this one in for 4% or 3.6%, whatever. $4. I was thrilled with this. I mean, 2K on 50. Hell yeah, I'll take that. So that was an easy play. I didn't get anything out of the share appreciation, hence the comment here. It would have been nice for sure if I went for 115 and this would have sold for another $2,500. All good. But I'm very happy with how this worked out. Not as good as the Rocket Lab trade, because I did go a couple bucks out of the money. The only thing I wish it did on NBIS differently was go for a double size position here. The 110 seemed a little risky because it was such all-time highs that, you know, I didn't want to. I was already feeling a little bit exposed, but now with the new highs here, I feel much less exposed. And talk about, oh my gosh, a bullish chart. Look at that spread. Beautiful, beautiful spread. Yeah, so this has been a good week. I think that's it for all the active trades. I do have a couple other things to talk about. Like I said, I sold the Bull CC for next week already. I got some Google ones for the week after, which whatever, they're kind of just chilling, not making a whole lot, but I'm fine with those because again, like this is in the port in Vanguard that I hate touching. It's a pain in my ass, so I just kind of leave it there. Master strategy, whatever. MicroStrategy, no strategy. I got 375 Cs. It looked like I covered too early. I'm not sure I did. I think this will be fine. And if they don't get called away, I'll just keep selling these 375s at cost basis, get the max I can from a premium standpoint, and that's all good. Still got deck floating in the background. Ugh, that's gonna go till January, and then I will cut deck. At this point, I will cut deck if it is not called away at that point. Please call away, please, 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 please. Then we've got some other fun stuff. We got Target. The 85Cs that I bought are doing pretty good. They're in the profit now. And Target is another one of those plays that I made on my own down here. I was like, okay, yeah, this seems like a bottom. This seems like if you zoom out, this is a common bottom. So I bought those leaps here, and we have kind of turned the chart here a little bit. If we run back up to 104, this would be fantastic. These are good till January 2027. So I think no, these are not. These are March 2026. Sorry, everything else is much longer dated. That's right, these were shorter dated. But I think this will be fine until here, right? I mean, we're way out there, somewhere over here, March over here. So yeah, I think we got time to make our way back to maybe 100. And my price target, you know what, let's just do it. Let's put the line here and make it 100. Whoops. Coordinates. It's going to be 100. Done. So that's our target. Target. Perfect. That'll be the sell point. Then we also got Merck. Oh shoot, I got out of Merck. Oh look, we made more money than I even realized. Sold this at like, it was 30%, right? So like 11.35. I don't know what's 30%. 9.85 times 1.3 is 12. Yeah, that sounds right. Oh. I will double check that though before I log it. But a little sloppy of me to not put that in the other day. These are closed. And we need to go back to check this later. We already talked to Merck. That was an Average Advisor recommended play that I kind of liked, but I don't like Merck that much, so. I will probably, you know what? We're just going to delete this ticker now. I don't even care. I'm not going to look at it again, probably ever. I'd rather play Lily, among other things. So, then we've got, we added some more stuff here. Oh no, I never put it in. Again, sloppy. This was UNH by 500. They were 350C. This is open, and they cost $63.90. Also for January of 2027. Oh my gosh, I might have done 2028. I need to double check that, but yeah, that was the other big play that I made here. The biggest leap play that I've made yet, but we're not up to that yet. We're gonna talk. We talked Target. We're gonna talk TTD. We already talked TTD, so I don't need to talk too much more about that. I did do 10 shares. or 10 contracts. Oh, cool. Okay, I care less about not having doubled down in that case for that. We have Lunar Leaps. Lunar Leaps are paying pretty well right now. We peaked up here at like, which by the way, this is most definitely cupping big time. We peaked at that 1165. I think this $7 leap is now, or 395 leap, sorry, is now like 565, something like that. So at one point we were 60% profit, but the target is higher. The target is actually 100% because this is. I'm going to do this more often, right? I want to put my targets on where I get out on the leaps. I want to get out here at 13. So put that in here, and I think this is likely to happen. So really, it's just kind of having some patience here. I might just put a limit sell in to close on those. And it's been a really good one. It was cheap. Was able to get 20 contracts because it was such a low price. This was also called out by Average Advisor. I want to give him credit here. I think I got in around here. And that sounds about right. So far, I've really been happy with how this has turned out. Obviously, it's a 60% profit. All right, let me catch up on chat. Conference is a polyglot one? Oh my goodness. Language learner. How many languages do you know? I know one well, and then I have crappy Japanese and even crappier Spanish. Well, I don't really know Spanish. I only know how to say gross stuff in Spanish. Is Pinga on? Where's Pinga? If Pinga's on, I'll share the Spanish that I know. Otherwise, I will not. And then we've got GT. This is a value bet. GT is kind of a fun one. The analyst shared this when I was here, and I appreciated that. I waited till we touched this bottom on this one. So like, this was a thing of beauty where so far, anyway, could change, could drop lower, but I got in at the bottom on these, where if you scroll back, I mean, look how many earnings were going back. You have to ignore this. This was COVID. So prior to COVID, this was a common touch point right here. And then any further back, you got to go back to like 2008 financial crisis type stuff. Yeah, like 2008, 2009. So I don't care about those. We actually touched all the way down at one point here again. That same line all the way back here. That, like, this one is a legitimate touch. Well, we came close to it, right? We didn't even touch it, so I'm not going to go all the way back there. In recent past, though, in 5 years, this was a common bounce point. So it's both a value bet, and the fact is that the leaps were so cheap. I got 25 contracts on this one at 215, I think. Oh, I can look it up because I have it. 217, I filled that. Oh, that's right. It was the bid ask was 210, 220. I put in 220 because I just wanted to get them in. Because like at that point, I don't care about 5 cents. So it filled at 217. All 25 of them, or maybe that's an average fill, whatever, you get it. So 5K, not a bad bet. And the target here is already up here. It is $12. If we bounce back to 12, which we've been at also multiple times, by next year, the end of next year, when did I put these for? Yeah, by the end of next year, which seems very likely we'll make our way back up from the toilet. Their macro trend seems to be very up and down, and usually they respond well from lows, right? I think, ooh, that's a cup and handle. Look at that. I do think that, yeah, there's a good play here. Not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. I am not recommending you make any or follow me in any of these plays or trades. I'm not trade signaling. I'm just sharing what I'm doing personally, and my thought process behind coming up with these trades. So we'll see. But I'm excited about this one because of how immediately it kind of reacted. I don't think we're going to follow this arrow trajectory. I do think it's going to be pretty far out, maybe early next year, where we get a chance of getting back here. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see this one develop. So, Crazy Jimmy, welcome. So it was supposed to be last night, but I had to get up at 3:50 this morning to drop my daughter off at the airport, who then just called me in a panic. So you didn't miss too much. And also, you can go back and watch this, by the way. It's all recorded and live. What's going on, Evie? Wait, are you on the call too? I don't know. I don't know if you're in just Discord or not. So that was the GT play. And then the last play is UNH, where I decided that I woke up dreaming about this for some reason. And I'm like, it's time to get back in. And when I saw where we were, I was a little annoyed. Although, thankfully for me, even though we gapped open, we went red. So I got a decent price, close to what I was hoping to get. But God, these were expensive. This is the most I have ever paid for a Leap contract. $63. $6,300 per contract. Now, it's an expensive stock, obviously, and the Leaps are out to January of next year. So, like, obviously, it all makes sense. Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. But when you zoom out, and we're talking about, where are we at? This is October, January, we're talking all the way over here. And I'm going to draw a straight line down. Basically, by this point, will we have filled this gap, you think? I mean, look how close we came to touching it, by the way. But do you think we'll fill that gap? And then let's zoom out. Do you think we will come back to this line? This is, and I know, I'm drawing random lines on the screen, right? But this was a prior support line. So my thought process is, yes, we should close the gap. And I think it's clear by now that we will. Will we go back to 600? I'm not sure that's in the cards anytime soon. But I do think at some point, I'm trying to think, what do I want to do to draw this? At some point, we end up back here. And will that happen today? No. Tomorrow? No. By middle of next year? It seems likely. It seems like we're still deeply undervalued. We know Buffett's in it. We know a ton of the CEO bought 25 million in shares. We know that Congress is loaded up. So if this happens, my $60 call at minimum, let's say we get to this 432 line, 433. Well, this is how this works. At minimum, 433 minus 350 is $83. Now, that doesn't include theta really at all. That's just straight math of like the stock price versus stock price. So this number is going to be higher, most definitely, even if we're close to expiration within 3 months, because theta doesn't really start chugging away until those last 3 months. Hence why we spend most of our time in weeklies and maybe monthlies, but even monthlies these days feels like it's, far away, right? So more likely this is going to be, if you look at what I bought the option at, 63, when it was at 360 for 350s, that meant that I was paying a $50 premium. Now, I don't think it'll be $50 at this point because, again, theta, but maybe it's 25, right? So this 108 divided by 63 is almost 100% return. Okay, it's 70% return. I'm very happy with that. And frankly, I'm not sure that bend is fair. I think it's more likely to happen a lot sooner than that. Again, this is all speculation, obviously. But, I would think it ends up being something more like this, where, say, March, we're back above that point. In fact, it could happen in this next earnings. And it seems likely. let's go back briefly and just look at recent earnings, recent past good earnings, not this disaster of earnings here, where the CEO had a panic attack and left. But like, typically we have some pretty big jumps not long after earnings. I mean, look at this. There's some big jumps here. So we can. There's some drops too, but because we're on the bottom end, I don't think we're going to see big drops again. But we can most definitely see a large price movement. I mean, in a couple of days, it went from 430 to 490. Is it going to happen? I don't know. Obviously, run up to earnings again. Look at that, run up to earnings and then drop. But if we get anything on this appreciable, I will sell. Even if it's, even if we jumped up to say test the 200 SMA at about 400 here, I would probably sell to close and just take the profit and run, and then maybe never touch UNH ever again. But for the moment, it seems like a good spot. Do I wish I bought the leaps down here? Yeah, obviously, but I wasn't really doing leaps very much at this point, and now I have become a lover of leaps. So I plan to continue to use leaps more and more frequently. But I'm interested in this one. I think this will be a good play here over the next year. All right, so that's it. That's all of my trades. I think. I don't think I'm missing anything else. If I look at the week, we made another few $100, including Merck. So again, yeah, great week. The premiums have been good. 600 would be greedy. Yeah, I don't think 600 is happening anytime soon. Robinhood, you're talking about brokerages. Cool. All right. Anybody have anything they want to look at before I wrap up? We've been going about an hour and 20 minutes or so, and it's been fun as always. But I know it's Saturday morning for many of you. If not, totally cool. Oh, I didn't talk hymns? Wait a second. Where are my hymns? Where's the hymns? Did I not put hymns in my spreadsheet again? No, there's no way I missed it. Are you serious? Oh no, there it is. Okay. All right. We did miss hymns. It's the one thing we didn't talk hymns or Oscar. How did I miss these two? All right. I do have two things left. Oscar Oscar's worth talking about. Oscar had a beautiful, full-on cup and handle, which I cannot take. This one I can't put on the fridge. This was Bob Dog, and I did notice a cup within the cup, by the way, but this was a great call out. And on Monday here, I was like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna sell 18p, pretty close to at the money, and boom, look at that, rocket. I love it. So this one was a nice, just 2% play. I ended up going not heavy, like dollar-wise, but more contracts than I would maybe normally do, because I was very confident in that particular TA. And HIMS is also a cup, by the way, but we'll go to that in a sec. All right, we want to look at HIMS. Nobody cares about Oscar except Bob Doug. That's fine. He's not on, so we'll skip over. All right, HIMS had another cup and handle, and it wasn't super clean though. Like there's a lot of big bars, so it's kind of, you got to take them out of the picture. As soon as you put them in, it normalizes things too much. You can kind of see it though. And the consolidation was not clean, maybe a trend down, but we popped earlier than I thought we would, and realistically, this could be a bigger handle or something too. I don't know. We'd have to let time play out on here a little bit, right? Could end up being a bigger handle. My dog's barking, sorry. And if this happens, then awesome. But like, yeah, this was great. This was 54p, felt very safe selling them somewhere over here. No. It was Monday. I sold them Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday? Yeah, we had a drop and I sold them then. I think it must have been Tuesday. So then we looked great. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. We're not going to get the HIMS. And then we dropped to 52. Now, can I put extended hours on this? I have it on. It doesn't show. Google shows it, though. I have it open here. So we did recover. We dropped as low as 52x and came back up to over 54. Where do you see that? Yeah. So I want to point on the screen, but it's here. It's here. See here. It doesn't. My hand doesn't go that far. You can see where my webcam screen ends. Capture area. We broke 54 though, and then we settled a little bit below it. So these are going to be great, potentially at the money, but more likely I'm going to sell 55 C's on these. I didn't do a full like size on this in case we happen to do the old drop to 42 because that's what HIMS can do sometimes. But if we drop back here, I will 100% double, if not triple, my holdings on this one. And otherwise, I'm going to sell. Yeah, I'm going to sell the 55C most likely, or maybe this arrow goes here, and we wait a couple of days. And you know what? I think I am going to wait a couple of days. Maybe we wait until like Wednesday to sell these just to see. And maybe we can get a big old pop here like we get from time to time. Because HIMS does that, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I do think I'm going to wait till, what would this be? Thursday? Oh, God. I don't want to. I hate holding shares and not covering them. We'll see. We'll see what the price action is. Obviously, if you're on the Discord, you'll see what I do there. And but overall, this is great. This is like not yet the dream. If we open at 54.5, 55 on Monday, that's the dream. Then I'll probably cover them. But look at me. I am so fickle. I hate not taking profit immediately. It's the problem. It's like a character flaw of mine. I would probably have double the return if I just waited longer on taking profit on everything. But I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. I'm taking it. So yeah, the dopamine hit though. We need the dopamine hit. But that's it. That's HIMS. HIMS was also good. If I'm looking at new tickers, take a look at charts for NB. Is that New Balance? What is NB? No, it's not New Balance. Neocorp. Why you gotta share tickers that are at giant all-time highs? Oh, not all-time highs. Okay. But like a giant ass cup. Look at that. Holy cow. Okay. So there could be interesting stuff going on here. My problem is I generally don't touch stuff that looks like this. They're like ONS, this chart, ASTS, right? Like this looks super bullish. Here's the thing. Like it's super bullish when the lines start to spread. And if you can get in there, like great. And then just hang on for a month or two. But when we've started to spread this much, I start getting leery of like, there's going to be a retracement. Now the volume looks really good, by the way. This actually has like cup and handle volume, although we didn't do it. It's not the actual shape of a cup and handle, unless you, like we said, we go way far out. And then actually it could be, no, even then it's not. So the interest is there. The volume is there. I just worry that the volume is going to drop off. But that's pretty wild. Neobium. I don't know how you say that word. Neobium. Mine. Is that a mineral? I'm sure that's a mineral. Draw the cup. I'm not going to draw the cup. Okay, I'll draw the cup. The problem is the cup is too slanted. It's, what do we got? Somewhere over here. Whoop, I thought I was dragging it. This, yeah, you can't really draw a cup here. If it were to cup, it would be like this. Yeah, I don't like it. I can't do it. It's too far off. It's too boob shaped. It's not gonna work. It's more like a ladle. I don't know, man. I don't know what you would call that. This is like, this is a boob for sure. You can see, yeah. For magnets, okay. Oh, like neo. What do they call them? I can't think of the word. Neodymium, something like that. Or maybe it is just niobium, and I'm a moron. ASPI. Okay, let me look at ASPI. Wow. Well, that's a nice higher high, higher high, higher low, higher low, higher high. Let me go to the weekly here. I do like starting out the first time I look at a stock, looking at the weekly. I think that's a good start at 10,000 feet and just zoom your way in, right? Until you're looking at the daily on the short term. Obviously, this is a newer stock. Isotopes. What the hell? Is this Quantum? Please don't tell me this is Quantum. Health tech. Oh, okay. Pharmaceuticals. Also really bullish right now. Niobium. Niobium? Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Huh. Okay. Yeah, NIO just in my head is Neo. Niobium. Makes a whole lot more sense. Thank you. All right, so now let's zoom in a little bit. Let's go to the daily. And last few months here, we'll zoom out. Definitely, earnings was what? Minor surprise, fine. Not really a big surprise. So they're calling them as they see them pretty well. That's good. That's good. Volume increasing, good. Possibly testing off the 100 SMA on a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high, higher intraday high. Oh no, higher high across the close too. Yeah, like this could be interesting. Although double top maybe, I don't know. However, regardless, it seems likely that short term we're going to boom, right, to something. Maybe it's in line with these tops. But what does that take us from? Well, what are we at right now? 934 to 11. I mean, that could be a swing trade. What are the premiums like? Well, I can look at IV. IV is going to be huge. All right, let's go look at the options. They have weeklies. That's exciting. So 9.5p would be something I'd be interested in. Calls, puts. Why am I seeing? Oh, that's IV. 9.5. Where's the bid ask? 65. Hey, that's not bad. Let's look at 9. Even 9 is like damn near 5%. You'd probably fill it 5%. Why is the IV so high? Was there recent news? Interesting. Look at that. Technical sell. Get out of this piece of crap. Analyst rating buy. Strongest buy imaginable. Revenue. Net income minus 75. What did they buy a company? Quantum's one of the markets, but they need isotopes in many markets. They're small but growing, getting takeoff contracts for some isotope production. Okay. This is interesting to me and one that I'd be interested in learning more about. I don't like Quantum. However, a supplier to Quantum is actually kind of interesting because Quantum, the market is obviously hot right now. And with the valuations being what they are, I imagine more people are going to jump into at least saying they're in Quantum. And then if you've got suppliers to that growing market, good place to be, actually. So we'll look into this collectively, I'm sure. You know what? I'm going to forget to do it, so I'm going to do it. Let's add this one to the favorites list. Plus ASPI. All right, you're in ASPI. Good call out, Kodu. Well, we'll see if it's a good call out. Maybe it's terrible. I don't know. But I am interested in looking at it. There's some cool stuff there, maybe to work with there. Medical, semiconductors, nukes, and quantum. That's a nice diversification, and I could see the application to all of those sectors, not knowing anything about the company's products. One thing we do need to know is why was the income what it was? That's scary. Gross, in fact. It's probably the more appropriate word. But I imagine there was like a one-time something or other that happened here. Yeah, I don't know what it was, right? But unrelated to total revenue, though, is nothing, more or less. So yeah, concern, stuff to look at, but kind of interesting. I'll take a shot at reading into them a bit. Let's make it a next week project if that sounds good to you. Acquisition, yeah, okay. I figured it was an acquisition. We'll look at like the news and stuff on that this week. Cool. Anyone else have anything else they want to look at for the day? If not, we can wrap up here. No rush either way for me. I think I talked about all my stuff that I wanted to. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything, because historically I do, and I did today, of course. I think we hit all this stuff. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up then. I almost clapped and blew out everyone's eardrums. I stopped myself. Hopefully you enjoyed the chill music in the background, if you could even hear it. And as always, I had fun. I will be back next week to do it all over again. Maybe tomorrow or maybe next week we'll do it back on Friday night. Although I kind of like the Saturday mornings. I'll probably have to take a poll to see what people prefer. And yeah, it was fun. And sorry, Alec. Well, look, it's recorded, so you can go back and listen to see if you missed anything particularly exciting other than us talking about different stocks and making money, right? So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next week. Have a good weekend.